Welcome to the 23-24 Women's Golf Season Preview with head coach Jenny King.
Hello.
Coach King, can you give us a little insight on where our team's at right now? I know we just got back a couple of weeks ago, where we're at, how qualifying is going, and how things are shaping up for the new squad.
So, we are barely a week into the season so far. So, we had qualifying this past Labor Day weekend. We had 4 straight days of qualifying. We got a lot of growth, a lot of room to improve. That's the one thing I like about qualifying. It not only will it show where we stand as a team, so I can choose the lineup going forward, but also it shows exactly what we need to work on to improve and get ready for our first tournament. So we took a lot of notes as coaches, and we're already implementing some of those big changes. And we've got 3 days to get ready for Cincinnati, and hopefully we can take advantage of the weather and the fact that we've got some great things to improve on. And I don't know, we're excited because, we're just back and we're ready and we're just happy to be here. And I think the girls are ready to take it up a notch and take some things seriously and do some things differently that we've never done as a program, so we can be just a little bit better than what we were last year.
And then speaking of your personnel, we have 5 returning players and 1 newcomer on this year's squad. Can you kind of go through the roster and mention and talk about a little bit about each player?
Yeah, so 2 seniors. Jess Hahn, she's from right down the road in Canton, Ohio, and she's been with me for 5 years now. I know her game inside and out. She's a zip through and through. I have her and Abby. Abby's our other senior, Abby Fleiner. She's from Reno, Nevada, transfer in last year, so this is her second year here as a zip. They're going to be our 2 team captains. They're great leaders because they're just both very smart. They're just influential in very positive ways, and I love just their style of how they play the game, and just their approach to the game is just they want to be relaxed, but they want to also, they're very competitive and they want to do their best. Jess is super, super consistent. She's just been one of those players from day one that I know exactly how to count on her. She's a fighter. Abby's just very smart all around the golf course. She's got this veteran sense that she teaches the younger girls just different way to think around the golf course, and it's very positive. And you have to have that in golf, and just because there's just so many times you're just not perfect. And, with that attitude that she has, like, she is able to bounce back because she's just so positive. My lone junior is Daphne Von Sun. She's from the Netherlands. She's also in her second year. She was a transfer last year, and she won qualifying. And she shot very consistent low scores throughout the 4 days. So she's just she gives herself high standards to follow, and I think that's one thing that it leads by example for the rest of the girls, because she is very serious, very focused. But we also got to know her a little bit more, and we got to know the other side of her, and she's funny, and she's just, she can be more relaxed when she needs to be. And I just think she's just going to be a very big impact player, not with our team, but with the MAC, because she wants to step it up and she wants to be one of the best. And I feel like she has goals to win the MAC championship as an individual, and she can do it. My 2 sophomores are Ritika Vora, she's from India, and Avery Wright. Avery's, again, right down the road. She went to Massillon Jackson. So we got some home cooking there, but those 2 have been pretty tight from day one, and they're the 2 golfers that they're probably the longest on the team, actually. So that youth, they hit it far. When they catch it, it's far, and that gives them a nice advantage out on the course. So with that length comes a lot of, like, we got to make sure we dial in some things. Once they get dialed in with their wedges and with their irons, they're going to be impact players too, both of them. My freshman, who's a newcomer, she's from Iceland. Her name's Kat. We love her so far. She's been doing great. She's fitting in really well. That's a big, big adjustment. I mean, it's like, she's drinking out of a water hose. The first week, everything's happening all at once. And so, I mean, really kudos to her because she's hanging in there. Got off to a rough start with qualifying, but the potential's there. I mean, she hits the ball pretty far. When she's consistent with her ball striking, she's going to be pretty dangerous, because one thing that she's got that I've noticed that you don't see a lot as freshmen, she's very confident with her putting around the greens. She can make a lot of putts. So we get that confidence rolling. We keep building her up. She's going to be an impact player before it's all said and done. I definitely believe that with all my heart right there.
In terms of the scheduling, I know your schedule's kind of broke up into two segments. I don't call it seasons.
You're right.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Kind of walk us through that. Kind of walk us through what the whole season looks like when you prepare for that, and how the fall season is still really in season.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're a fall and spring sport. I know that a lot of people consider us a spring sport because that's our championship season, but literally right from the jump, this first tournament in Cincinnati, it's going to go towards our ranking that carries over in the spring. And fall is a big deal. We want to use that summer momentum from playing and practicing all the time, and we want to be ready to go into the fall because it kind of sets us up for the spring and that kind of success there. And I think they're two different seasons. You have different weather. And we're a little bit quicker and more condensed in the fall, whereas spring is, as we go through the season, it's more like a marathon, not a sprint. And the weather gets better as we get better. It's almost like we peak with the weather. So it's definitely interesting how the two seasons are so different. And my approach, as far as coaching it, is definitely different. But I love the fall season because we drive to everything, but we play in great quality tournaments against some good quality competition. So it's just as good as spring. It's just kind of a little bit more fast paced, but it's fun.
Of the schedule that you have, is there a place that you haven't been yet on that schedule that you're really looking forward to? And what might you say your athletes, what tournament might they be looking forward to throughout the course of the whole season?
I would say they're all different as far as the tournaments they like to play in. They have those courses that they just love to play. And sometimes I have to ask them, hey, would you want to go back to this tournament? I'm kind of thinking, I don't know what you're going to say, but a lot of them are like, oh, I love that course, or I love to play that. But I think what we've got is some challenging golf courses they love coming back to. We do have a new course on the schedule for the spring where Bowling Green used to host a tournament in Florida, but now we're going out to Arizona. I don't know much about the golf course itself, but so we're going to go to Arizona twice in the spring, and that'll be kind of fun just to get out west. And that's one of my favorite places to go play, and just different scenery and different weather. And the courses are just such a different style. It's good to have that variety. It prepares you for whatever's there is ahead, whether we go to the postseason. We got to be prepared for just everything that you can be thrown at you. So we're looking forward to that.
I guess the ultimate goal for you as your program is to win the Mid-American Conference in the spring. What is it going to take to accomplish that goal this year with the ladies you have on the team?
Yeah, well, we got a lot of work to do, but it's going to take a total team effort. You can't go into the MAC championship or with one or two players that are just going to be okay. You got to make sure you got 4 or 5 girls that are ready to shoot a low number, and that's really what it's going to take. I mean, if you've got 4 solid players, shooting around par or better, you're going to have a great chance to win the MAC championship. Weather's always a factor, so the tougher we can be in any situation, the better we're going to be. It's going to be down in Columbus this year, a new golf course again, but you never know what the weather's going to be in Ohio in end of April, so we'll be ready for whatever. I'm confident with that. So it's just we got to take everything up a notch. It's going to be our mental toughness has got to be up a notch. Our strength's got to be up a notch. Our endurance has got to be up. Ball striking's got to be there. Course management's got to be there. If we're not on our game that week, then it's funny how 1 or 2 shots really adds up over time and over that course of that tournament. So you got to make the mistakes minimal, and you got to be on top of it to win.